Alright, so this is the video. Today is the day before the triathlon in Waco, Texas. So I'm actually in Austin right now. Obviously, I am at a hotel room. We are about to leave in about 30 minutes to drive up to Waco. We have all of the pre-race activities that are going to be happening there. But I wanted to, start the video the day before the race because, in all honesty, I am not sure how much. Obviously, I won't be able to film because I'll be racing. I'm not sure how much footage I'm going to be able to get, if I'm going to be able to have anyone film. So I wanted to share a little bit of before and after the event. So hopefully this video is not just me talking about how the race went. But that is what's going on. I just got everything packed up. Now I'm waiting for my coach, Natasha, to come pick me up. And then it's the drive up to Waco. All right, bike is all packed up. We got everything. As you can tell, it's super humid here, so this lens does not like it very much. But now it is on to the drive to Waco. All right, so I'm back from athlete briefing and getting my numbers and stuff. I want to show you guys. Number 72, baby. All right, so we got that. We got a little Tri-Waco hat, as well as a nice blue shirt. So we are just getting ready here. I got all my stuff, so I'm officially checked in. And Natasha, my coach, she has a talk that she's gonna be doing here in a second. And yeah, so we're just gonna hang out here for a little bit until we end up leaving, because we're actually staying at another coach's house tonight, the night of the race, or the night before the race, which is a little bit outside of Waco. So we're just gonna hang out here. She's gonna do her talk, and then there's actually going to be a practice swim, which is exciting, because I have obviously never swum in this river before. So I think that will be really nice to have a little bit of a practice swim before the actual swim. So I have an idea of what it's gonna feel like. That actually kind of makes me feel really good. Okay, so we are here at the, this is one of the coach's houses. This is where we're going to be staying for the night before the race. So there's actually quite a bit of athletes here right now. We're doing like an athlete dinner. I haven't been filming much today, honestly, because there's just been so much going on, and I've been trying to be present and kind of learn and see everything that I need to be doing. But like I said kind of earlier in the swim clip, I am really glad that I was able to do that, because I just feel like this, a lot of the anxiety that I was feeling because of the, just because of the unknown. I've never swam in open water without a wetsuit. All of my open water swims have been in San Diego, and the water's really cold, so you wear a wetsuit. And so that was really just, it made me feel a lot better. It was really reassuring. So that's really exciting. So I am just here now for the rest of the night. Just gonna be hanging out, taking it easy, getting the body markings and getting everything put correctly. And then it's probably gonna be a 4 a.m. wake up call. And then it's time to go. It's race day. All right, it's race day. 4 in the morning, showered up, ready to go. I have my race kit on under this. Here we go. You can't see anything, but we're in the transition area now. So I have my bike set up right here, and then all of my run and bike gear is set up right next to it. So you just come here after the swim, you grab your bike, and then you're off to go. you can see, we have finished. I don't know exactly what my official time is. I think on my watch it says it took me about an hour and 28 minutes or something like that. But I'll update you when I know the official time. I just don't know what it is yet, but we're done. We did it, baby. Alright, so it has been a couple days since the last clip that you saw, and obviously I wasn't able to get much footage of the actual triathlon when you're alone. You know, that's kind of how it is. So I wanted to do a little bit of a detailed race report, so I kind of wanted to go over in as much detail as I could. I'm here at the BPN HQ. Cool, very cool wall behind me. So I just kind of wanted to go over everything. So kind of stuff before the race. I was really lucky that I was able to have Natasha there, my coach, with me the whole time, and she helped me just a tremendous amount. Like, it was insane. The day before, we actually were able to go to the actual lake that we were swimming, or the river that we were swimming in, which was it was really nice that we were able to do that. So we were able to kind of swim as much as you wanted, and I pretty much just everyone was kind of swimming in like a circle around a buoy, so I was like, I'll just swim with them. And I ended up swimming 600 meters, so that's 200 meters longer than the actual race. So the actual race was 400 meter swim, it was a 16-mile bike, and a 3.5-mile run. So that just gave me a lot of confidence. The water wasn't super cold at all. It actually wasn't cold at all. It was kind of gross, but it was actually, I could see more in that water than I can when I swim back home in the open water in like the bay. It was a little bit less murky, still pretty murky. But yeah, and that was my first time ever swimming open water without a wetsuit, because again, the water at home is so cold. So that was like a huge, like, that just made me feel so much better. So I'm really glad that I did that. But going to race morning, woke up at 4 a.m. I woke up much before 4 a.m. I woke up at like 2:50, couldn't go back to sleep. But then I got up at 4 a.m., showered and stuff, and we were at the event. I had like some oatmeal and some coffee before we left. We were at the event by 4:45. And just kind of got stuff ready, got my bike on the rack. Really thankful for Nick for letting me borrow his bike. Got the bike on the rack, got everything that I needed, set out my transition stuff. Had one of the coaches was actually racing the race, and I had him look over everything, and he was like, yeah, it looks good to go. You should be fine there. And then we kind of just waited around for a while. And the race actually ended up kind of getting pushed back about 20 minutes, but we finally walk up to the start, and again, 400 meter swim. I actually started kind of in the front. So the way that the way that they started it was, it was one at a time. And so you had to sit on this dock because the water was really shallow where you started, so you couldn't dive. Sit on a dock, push off, and start swimming. So I was probably the 10th in the water, something like that, 10 or 15th in the water, which I'm really, really glad that I did, which we'll go into why I'm glad that I got in the water actually a lot sooner than I was planning on. So with the swim, we had to go pretty much across the river. So the river was flowing this way, and you get in on this side, and you kind of have to get to a buoy in between two buoys that were a little bit over halfway through the river. And so the current is pushing this way. And so when people first started getting in, they were getting pushed really far to the left. So when I got in the water, I told myself, okay, swim almost to the right, because if you do that, you will end up getting pushed, hopefully, and you'll be right in between those buoys when you get there. And that's kind of what I was doing at the start. I was swimming, I was really happy with how my swim was going, but then once I got pretty close to the buoys, I look up and I was too far to the left. So even though I tried, I ended up being too far to the left, so I kind of had to swim almost parallel with I had to swim just into the current, which was kind of scary because there was a lot of people just coming this way, and so I was getting smacked in the face quite a bit. But luckily I was able to get around the buoy, and then you were swimming with the current for probably about 200 meters of the swim, and you pretty much swam diagonally. So that was good. I was making sure I was sighting, making sure I was looking, and you had to go around the buoy, you had to go around your right side. So I made sure I went around that, and then the last leg of the swim, again, the current's pushing you, so you kind of had to make sure you swam almost upstream a little bit, and then there was, they just had like these makeshift stairs that you kind of grabbed and got out of. So I was able to complete the swim, no issues. I actually completed the swim, I have the exact times here, completed the swim in just under 8 minutes. So like, I think it was like 7:53 or something like that. So that's a little bit under 2 minutes per 100 meter, which is totally fine by me. I am super happy with that. I honestly couldn't be happy with how the swim went. So then we got out of the, I got out of the swim, and I went up, and you had to run up like a ramp that kind of like snaked, and then you ran into the transition area. And I was one of the first people out of the swim as well. Like, I didn't get passed by too many people. I definitely got passed by a few people, but you know, there wasn't like a ton of bikes that had already left. Like, I was one of the first people out on the bike course. So got onto the bike. I got my socks. I decided to put my socks on before I did the bike, just because I didn't want to ride without socks on. So I put my socks on, got my shoes on, made sure I clasped my helmet before I even started, like before I even grabbed my bike, put on my sunglasses, took the bike off, and started walking quickly, kind of jogging to where you were able to get on your bike. So then got on my bike and started moving, and y'all, when I say the bike felt amazing, it was so good. Like, I was passing people left and right, and well, I actually was only passing them on I was going to their left, those are the rules, but I was just passing people like constantly, and I felt so strong on the bike. So the course was really simple. So it was just literally like, it was 2 laps, and it was just, you rode one way on the freeway, turned around, rode the other way. Like, it was just kind of like a tiny loop that you did. So there's just 2 U-turns at the ends, and you were just going straight the whole time. So you were able to put down a lot of power. And I felt just really strong. Like, I was passing people that were on TT bikes, because I was on a road bike. And so they're in like the TT position. They're able to be a lot more, you know, a lot more streamlined, a lot more aerodynamic. But just the amount of power that I was able to push out on the bike was really, really good. So I ended up having the 15th fastest time on the bike during the whole day. So I was feeling really good. In the swim, I was like 112th out of like around 200 people, so right in the middle. But the bike, I was like top, right? Really just felt really good. Again, it was 16 miles, so 2 laps. I had literally no issues on the bike. There was no problems. I need to work on being able to drink while I'm riding. That was something that I wasn't able to do. I'm just not comfortable enough like pedaling and grabbing my water bottle. But other than that, like, everything went really well. There was one time when I did one of the U-turns, I went a little wide and had to kind of go around a cone. But that was like the scariest part. Like, I was moving. My average speed was about 23 miles an hour. And it just felt really good. Like I said, I was just passing people. Then I didn't get past a single time on the bike, which I was like really surprised with. I thought that there would definitely be, I thought that I would definitely get past, right? Like, I figured there has to be some people out here that are faster than me. And obviously there were, but they must have been ahead of me already, or were just so far behind me that they didn't, you know, because they started to swim so much later. But then I do the 2 laps. Natasha, my coach, is she let me know that I was in the top 10 at that point. And so I was in the front of the race. Like, I was one of the first people on the run course, like of the whole day, right? So I get in, we go in, I get off my bike, walk it to the transition area, put the bike up, take the shoes off, take the helmet off, then I put on my shoes. And pro tip, if you should get some sort of quick lace so you're not tying your shoes. Natasha gave me a little thing that I was able to use on my shoes where I didn't have to worry about tying it, which was great. So put on my shoes, and then I grabbed my hat and my bib, it has like a race belt that I wore, and I just started running. And then during the run, I just kind of put on my hat, put on the race bib, and then I was good to go. And so again, the run was 3.5 miles. So I started out, I looked at my watch. Oh, so my total time for the bike was 41:58 for about 16-mile bike. And then so I started out the run, and I looked at my watch, and I noticed that I was going like at like a 7:20 pace. So I was like, okay, I need to slow it down, because there's no way I can sustain that for 3.5 miles. So then I kind of slowed it down, and I was like averaging about 8:30 minutes per mile, and I just was kind of moving. The first mile was pretty tough. Like, I could feel my legs. Then I got passed by a couple people, like literally 2 people on the first mile. These 2 guys that were running together, and but like all in all, like, I felt pretty good. After, just at the mile marker, they had a tent with like water and stuff. So I used an aid station. So I drank some water, some Gatorade, poured some water on my head, and then right after that mile station, you actually had to run up like this ramp. And then you were on a bridge, and then you went around, like, you went across the bridge, and then you were actually running back towards the finish line. So running up that ramp station, that was like at 1.5 miles. And so running up the ramp, I was like, ooh, this is getting tough. But then once I was on the bridge and kind of realized, okay, we're about halfway through now. All I have to do is like get across this bridge and then I'm running back, you know, back home kind of. So that was a really good feeling. Again, still kind of running the same pace. On the bridge, I got passed by another dude. And then I was just like, you were kind of running through a park. So you ended up like another kind of mile, nothing really happened there, just kind of running. Pace pretty much stayed consistent throughout the whole run. And then you get down into a park for about the last mile. It started getting really humid there because there's so many trees and I feel like it kind of just trapped it. So I was starting to like really feel like I knew I was sweating a lot. So there was another aid station, again, water, poured it on my head, drank some, got some Gatorade. And then that's when I ran into Natasha and she was able to get a couple of the clips that you guys saw right before this. And she was letting me know like, hey, you're doing really well. Keep your cadence up, right? Just keep moving. Like you're 1 mile away. You just got to keep moving. So I knew that the course was a little bit over a 5K. So a 5K is 3.1 miles. So I knew it was a little bit longer than that. So I was like making sure I didn't like start like sprinting at once I hit like 3 miles and trying to get to that last point. So I'm glad that I did that. But once I was like at that last half mile, I actually started noticing in my right quad that I think it was like the onset of a cramp maybe. I've never cramped actually when I've ran, but it felt like almost every few steps like there was like a flicker in my right quad, like on the outside, like right here. And so I was like, that's interesting. Hopefully that isn't a big deal. So I was like kind of worrying about that a little bit, but still just like we're trying to go the same pace, right? And so then then there was like, you finished on a bridge, so you ended up like, you're in this park and you had to go up a ramp basically and go on the bridge. So right before you went up that ramp, there was another aid station, got some water, dumped it on my head, and then I ran up the hill, which was really, really rough, running up that hill at the very end. But then I was on the bridge and then ran to the finish line, and I ended up, the run took me 29 minutes and 29 seconds. And so my total time was 1:23:50. That's with the transitions in there as well. So that was my total time. I ended up getting, I think 5th in my age group. And I think I was in the top 30 overall for the day. But so the reason that I'm so glad that I started early was because one, on the swim, there wasn't that many people, right? So there wasn't that many people that I was running into, which was nice. On the bike, there wasn't that many people, especially on the first loop. So I didn't have to go around too many people. So there just wasn't much congestion. And then same thing on the run, there just wasn't that many people. But the biggest reason was the rain actually ended up getting rained, or the race actually ended up getting rained out. So about 10 minutes after I finished, they had to put a halt on the race because there was thunder and lightning in the area. And at first they were just gonna like stop everyone for a little bit until it went away and then have people continue. But then that kind of kept getting pushed until it was like an hour that they had to stop the race. And they finally said, we're officially going to have to, cancel it. If you want to finish the run, you're allowed to. But that's kind of what happened. So because I started early and, luckily I was moving at a pretty good pace, I was able to, finish before that happened. But I feel really bad for, like a good amount of the sprint athletes, the sprint triathlon, and then pretty much everyone that was doing the Olympic, they weren't able to finish, which really sucks for them. It just sucks. There's nothing else to really say about it. But all in all, like my experience was really good. I felt like I prepared really well for the race. I'm glad I did the sprint because I think that if I were to do the Olympic, I probably would have ended up cramping up on the run or something, just because I wasn't able to intake any fuel on the bike. So that's something I need to practice. So I will be practicing that. But all in all, like it really couldn't have gone any better. Truly, it was really nice being able to actually race versus just competing or just being there, right? When I did my marathon, I just kind of finished. That was pretty much all I did, right? This, I was actually racing, right? Like I finished top 5 in my age group. Like I was actually moving. And so that felt really good. The bike was really fun. The run was really good. Glad I was able to do it. The swim was the thing that definitely surprised me the most.
just because I had I just had never swam open water without a wetsuit before the day before the race. So all in all, like, I am really proud of how it went. Again, that's pretty much it. There's not much else to say. I appreciate all of you so much for the support, especially on the last video, and just in general in this prep. I will be doing another race. That's the one that I've been training for. That's kind of been the A race. That will be October 10th in San Diego, the Mission Bay Triathlon. That'll be an international distance. So I don't remember the distance off the top of my head, but it's a little bit shorter than an Olympic distance triathlon. And that's pretty much, we're just gonna get into training for that. I'm probably going to be doing more CrossFit style workouts because I talked to Natasha and I was like, I definitely miss doing that. So I would like to supplement maybe a little bit, even if that means maybe my time's a little bit slower on the day. If it means I'm enjoying training a lot more, then that's totally worth it for me. But yeah, all in all, that's pretty much everything. That's how the race went. All in all, very happy. I appreciate y'all for sticking around and for supporting me. I really appreciate y'all, and hopefully some of you guys decide to do a triathlon now. That would be awesome. But yeah, that's about it. See you next time. Pew, pew, pew.